Today we're in Colorado visiting journalist and Real Housewives of Potomac cast member Angel Massie and NFL veteran Bobby Massie at their stunning family home. A true reflection of Bobby and Angel, this glamorous home is bold and elegant, yet intimately tied to the surrounding landscape, with warm wood, natural stone, and rich textures layered throughout. From the abundant vegetable garden to the upstairs reading nook and stunning kitchen, every detail was designed to celebrate what matters most: community, connection, wellness, and the joy of being together. This serene, stylish home also captures Angel and Bobby's shared love of nature and the outdoors, a passion that inspired their Colorado-based lifestyle brand, Wanderland, bringing together their adventurous spirit with a warm, inviting home full of life, creativity, and personality. To watch Angel and Bobby's full home tour ad-free, where they show us their cozy guest bedroom and luxurious bar room, decorated with jerseys from Bobby's NFL career, scan the QR code or click the join button below. You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story. I'm Allison Kenworthy, the founder of Homeworthy, and we take you inside the world's most beautifully decorated homes and introduce you to the brilliant people who live there.
Hi Homeworthy, I'm Liz Lang. Welcome to Grey Gardens.
Click the join button below to access all of our latest episodes ad-free and watch extended cuts of this and other homes, opening the doors to new rooms and exclusive content featuring our beloved hosts.
I can't wait to see. I'm so excited.
And if you're looking to shop items inspired by this and other Homeworthy tastemakers, be sure to use the product links below or scan the QR code on screen to find fabulous furniture, coffee table books, and accessories that can transform your house into a home.
Hi Homeworthy, I'm Angel.
And I'm Bobby.
Welcome to our Colorado home.
Come on in.
Hi everybody, I'm Angel Massie.
And I'm Bobby Massie.
Welcome to our home in Colorado.
The thing that drew us to this home, obviously like many people, we were fishing on Zillow for years. Zillow, read every home app you could find. You know, we scoured it for years, and it just so happened that while I was still playing for Chicago, we ended up finding this home. It didn't look like this at all. We ended up doing a full restoration on the home, but the bones were exactly what we wanted, and the view was to die for. And once we got here, we drove around the property, we seen the house, we knew we just had to have it.
When we drove up to the property, it felt like a cabin on a national park. It had this beautiful mountain home feel, but the construction and how it looks, it just had this beautiful, unique symmetry about it that it just called us to it. And like Bobby said, the views were unmatched. You know, these days you don't find a place that has beautiful views, 36 acres and the bones. We had to do more construction than we were anticipating because it was pretty crazy when we opened up the walls. Yeah. But it became a real labor of love with our interior designer, Miranda Cullen at Inside Stories. The priorities for us when we were renovating this home was, one, we wanted it to feel like us. We wanted it to feel like a mountain home, but we wanted it to be more masculine, more modern. We love natural stone and we love the color black. So we wanted it to look like an expression of who we are while still being in the mountains. When we came in here, the ceilings were like this weird Colorado wood orange color that a lot of mountain homes have. So we were like, why not just paint it black? The fireplace that you see behind us was like randomly in the corner. And we wanted to expand it and make it grand and grandiose. But we also wanted a space where we felt like we would be okay with kids. We didn't have any time running all around. Actually, I was pregnant with Kush when we did the renovation. And we just wanted it to feel calming and safe and beautiful, as if you just stepped into a dream. So welcome to our foyer, or the entrance of our home. This is the first room that you see when you enter Casa Massie, and it's actually a particularly special one for us because it showcases a lot of really important artwork that we have collected from our travels. Here you can see these beautiful masks that was made by this 80-year-old carver named Ketut in Bali. Ketut carved these masks from hibiscus wood. And he carved it in one piece. And actually, rest in peace to Ketut, because he actually ended up passing away shortly after we purchased these pieces on our honeymoon in Bali. We like to use this space to showcase family, but to also give a little hint into who we are. And speaking of who we are, you might see the kids pop in and out, Cushion Gaia, and you might see Bobby, he's wrangling them. You know, they're 2 and 4, so it's a crazy time right now. Ansel Adams is one of my favorite photographers, and so I love to have his books here. Yoga, Wildlands, philanthropy, that's all Bobby. So you can really, in this space, see a mix of both of us and who we are and what we love. And for instance, I am an amethyst junkie. I love crystals. I collect them all the time. And another important piece about this space is also this artwork by Ketut as well. It tells the story, the creation story of Bali, and there are a lot of stories from Hinduism, which is their religion that they practice there. It's beautiful. It took us a while to get it shipped here, handmade, once again, all one piece, and this is also by Ketut. So these are our favorite pieces in the house. You can also see that I'm a plant lady. I'm a big plant mama. When we first moved in here, I think that these plants were probably up to here, but as you've seen, they have taken on a life of their own, which is exactly what I wanted. I wanted the ability for them to cascade and really bring some green into the space, because as you know, Colorado, it gets cold here, it gets snowy here, and really having all this green during the winter kind of shoos the seasonal depression away. And then down here is our mudroom, if you will, because we have 2 kids, and instead of them, speaking of, what did you hear? Did you hear me talking about 2 kids? Instead of them traipsing in through the front door, it allows for them to come in here, take their muddy, snowy boots off, and not track them through mommy's house. Where are you going, baby? Another really special feature of this entry is the marble that we had put around the entry on both sides. At first, this was just one entryway into the house, but our designer, Miranda Cullen, in her gorgeous creativity, said, why don't we make it 2 different spaces, and why don't we add some jewels in the form of this gorgeous marble? So yeah, the space is pretty special. And then, of course, these chandeliers, we have pretty tall ceilings up here, so we wanted it to feel grandiose in a way, and I really think that these chandeliers add to that feeling. That brings us to our living room. The marble carries onto this fireplace, this huge floor-to-ceiling fireplace that we love. It's such a piece in our living room and a center point. It used to actually be at the steps here. It was a really weird placement for the people to put it, but I guess they needed some place to put it. But we really wanted to add that symmetry to the space so that it feels very feng shui. Yeah, so this black and white and cream is a theme that you will see throughout our house. We have the black ceilings, the dark kitchen, but we really wanted to make the living room light and airy. And doing that, we thought that it was really important to open up the windows. So the windows used to be just a window at the top, window at the bottom, and like little windows on the side, but we really opened up the space by adding 2 windows, widening the windows, and making them one big piece of glass. And actually, at first, I really wanted it to be just a huge piece of glass, but that wouldn't have gone over well for all the windiness in Colorado. This is our space to play. I mean, I'm a millennial, so my parents didn't allow me to play in the living room, but we really wanted it to be comfortable enough where the kids could play, I could read, Bobby could hang out, and it still looked nice at the end of the day after I clean up all the chaos. One of my actual favorite pieces in this space is this large amethyst that Bobby bought me for an anniversary present a few years ago. Not only am I an amethyst girly, but my mom, who passed away a few years ago, is, and so I kind of carry that throughout the house as an ode to her, but also because I really believe it brings really good energy in the space. The couches are oversized, so the cushions are way back to accommodate Bobby's very long legs. But it's nice for me because it's like a cushy space where the kids can bug me some more. And then I cannot leave the living room without showing this ficus Jennifer. She's my baby. She's a big old tree. I don't know how we're gonna fit her in this space always, because at this point people kind of bump her when they go by. But once again, I'm a plant mommy, so yeah, I just wanted to bring the outside in.
Our love story began on Facebook, like a lot of modern millennial love stories do.
Bobby found me through a mutual friend and messaged me, and we began talking from there. You want to fill in some detail?
Yeah, I guess at the time, all the boxes wouldn't check for Angel at the moment. And so some years later, we ended up running across each other again on Snapchat. And, you know, she messaged me, and we've been together for 10 years ever since then.
I always thought you were cute. Wasn't the right time at the time.
Yeah, I understand.
I am a journalist, and I began my career at BT Networks as a production assistant, and then a producer, and then a red carpet host. And I also wrote for magazines like Complex Magazine and Essence, and I was a real media girly. So I was living in Washington, D.C. at the time, and I needed something that was going to be completely different from the entertainment world to be a catharsis for me. So I started a hiking club called Pretty Girls Hike. The name is pretty embarrassing now as a person in my 30s, but at the time, it attracted other like-minded young professional women, and the numbers got big. We used to go out and hike in Shenandoah National Park and Billy Goat Trail and all the different places in Maryland. I really birthed a love for the outdoors through searching for that mindful catharsis. And when I met Bobby, he was a huge fisherman, still a huge fisherman, fishing bass and going down to the Gulf to go find redfish. Is that what they're called? Redfish, right?
Yeah.
And he got me into fishing, and it is a really fun and meditative outdoor recreation opportunity that I love. And so it really made sense when we landed in Denver to have our own outfitter that has a mindful and empathetic and present moment awareness ethos to it, because I really believe that when you are guiding people with that present moment awareness, you are able to more deeply connect with them and to more deeply connect with nature.
I'm from a rural area in Lynchburg, Appomattox, Virginia, and it's not too much to do other than recreate outdoors, and so that was a part of my life growing up. And it was something I continued to do my entire career through football, and once me and Angel, we got together. It was one of my hobbies, and it's the thing I like to do the most is get outside and fish. And it was new to Angel at the time. She was an avid hiker. She liked to go outside and watch leaves, see beautiful scenery, but I was more focused on the water. And you know, it was a beautiful collaboration. We like to do it luxuriously, you know what I mean? And we just decided once I retired, and we ended up buying a home, obviously here in Colorado. We loved it here so much. And we just decided why not us? You know, why can't we start an outdoor business? You know, so many people do it from the ground up, and we like to recreate outdoors in a certain way. And people who have participated with us in previous trips before we had the business, they loved it. And so we just decided, why not make it accessible for everyone?
And then, of course, I'm a Real Housewife of Potomac. And that's because Bobby and I are what you could say, I guess, bi-coastal. Maryland's on the coast, Colorado's landlocked, but it's over there by the west. And so we knew that we wanted a second home in Maryland, to be back close with my family and Bobby's family. And so when Bravo came calling, we were hesitant because I am such a nice girl. But we felt it was a great opportunity to, since we were coming back to the area, get to know a new group of ladies and delve into a new experience. And it has definitely been an experience. Now we're in the kitchen. Me and Gaia are in the kitchen here. In the kitchen, one really important thing that I wanted was this huge island. It is quartz, I believe, and I really just wanted a communal space for our family to be able to experience my cooking, experience Bobby's cooking. Bobby has taken over the mantle of being the chef in the house, and be able to just have a good time. And once again, a space where we didn't have to worry too much if it got messed up, because everything is kind of big and industrial. We have this beautiful fir bench, and instead of doing a bunch of little seats, because Bobby is so big and he likes to man spread his legs, we thought that it was really important to have something big where he could sit and someone could still sit with him. Also in our kitchen, we have this nook. And I envisioned this nook as a place where one day the kids would do their homework. I'm actually studying to be a certified clinical herbalist, and so I actually do my homework here. And I wanted this place to fit this. I have been looking at this chandelier, the selenite chandelier from Restoration Hardware, for years. And when I saw this house, I immediately envisioned putting it in this space. So this is me coming into it. And I'm from Baltimore. At the end of the day, I'm a city girl. And so I really wanted this space to give kind of that diner feel. And so I had them do the subway tile look as an ode to my city roots. So I think it really turned out well. We have this big, huge table. I don't think it'll ever go anywhere. And then of course, we have this citrine bowl that's all natural. So I can't forget, we have more art from Bali. So, I mean, our honeymoon and our love is just all over this home. We have some Jonathan Adler pieces here. I mean, I just love them because they're tongue-in-cheek. We're like modern type parents. Luckily, the kids don't know what munchies means just yet. But I actually store seeds for my garden in these containers. Here you also see that masculine dark influence, because Bobby and I looked so much on Pinterest when we were designing this home, and we always knew that we wanted something non-traditional in the kitchen. And a lot of times people think that using dark colors is going to close off the space, but I think it really makes it cozy and sexy in a way. So Bobby cooks a really mean ribeye steak in this kitchen. I love going up to my garden during the summertime and grabbing basil and tomatoes, and I love making basil pasta. It's just like a simple dish that I can cook up, basil pesto pasta. And Thanksgiving is a big thing for us. So while Bobby's in the outdoor kitchen smoking a turkey breast that he spatchcocked, I'm in here making the mac and cheese and the collard greens from the garden and the sweet potato pie and the cranberry sauce from scratch. I'm a really big cook, but Bobby, once again, has taken over the chef mantle in this house, so that's okay. We also just love being in here and making breakfast together, and the kids sitting over there and tearing up a whole pack of bacon every day. So it's really just a space that is perfect for community, when friends and family come over, or when the Real Housewives come here to shoot the cast trip, which they did. So you'll see that. So the other important part of this kitchen actually are our cookbooks. I mean, Bobby has his own special cookbook for recipes that he puts together, and then I have my cookbooks. For instance, this culinary history of Chesapeake Bay. My family hails from South Carolina and Virginia on the coast, so I am what they call Tidewater Creole, and a lot of recipes that are indicative to being in that culture, like collard green gumbo and etouffee and all the different things that you can find, and food that is a marriage of West African food and food that came out of the tradition of Black Americans being enslaved. You can find them in these cookbooks. But I'm also a huge Anthony Bourdain fan. Being a journalist and someone who likes to cook, I kind of can really relate to him and his edginess. And so we have a lot of Anthony Bourdain. Of course, we have to have Jubilee by Tony Tipton Martin. That is the consummate Black American cookbook. So yeah, you can see what we love to eat. And of course, healing foods, because I'm an herbalist. I love going out to our property and collecting mullein and collecting just the different things that we have out there that I can incorporate into the kitchen for wellness, healing, and for something tasty. Speaking of something tasty, we eat in here, but for formal meals, which Bobby does not like because he is more of a sit down on the bench and have a burger type guy, we have the dining room. The dining room is actually one of my favorite spaces in the house because it looks like a cabin. We added all of this wood to the ceilings and the walls because we really wanted it to feel rustic like Colorado. We love that about Colorado, but we made it black because we love the color black, and it's something so calming about this space with it being dark. Before it was all orange and stuff, and actually before we used to have kind of like a pass-through up there where you could see the top floor, and thought that was kind of weird, so we closed it up. And then of course we have this matching selenite sconce that matches the selenite chandelier in the eating nook, and this gorgeous green marble that is just so unique. After I saw it, I was like, why didn't I make the island like this? But it just gives it its own special flair. And none of this was here before. Before, this was a wall, and that was a door to the outside. And another thing that we did is we added these huge windows here, and we added a bigger door because we wanted to once again bring the outside beauty of this property to the inside. And that was really, really important to us. So we wanted, of course, this could have been a space for us to have a big crystal chandelier, but that really wouldn't have been us. We wanted these beautiful orbs of light to remind us of kind of the moon and the stars outside, and planets. And planets are something my son is really into right now. He can name them all. He can name asteroids. He can name moons. It's really crazy for him to be 4. But yeah, this space is where we dine, where we have special occasions, where we eat for Thanksgiving, where we celebrate Kwanzaa. And just having that ability to have community in a formal space that feels so loved and hugged is really important to us. We love our friends, we love our community, and here in Colorado, one thing that's so unique is that you find friends from every walk of life, and I just feel like this dining room is the perfect place for us to all meet in. So this room is very me, I will say. The wood makes it Bobby too, but the design and the aesthetic, I really appreciate that he was just like, go with it. My other favorite part of this room is we have these skylights. and it allows for way more light to come in, and you just don't feel enclosed in this dark space. And of course, we have more Balinese art. I think I went crazy buying art on our honeymoon, but I was like, hey, I don't know when my husband is gonna wanna take another 28-hour flight, so let me go nuts.
I would say my favorite part of the home is the deck. Yeah. Inside is beautiful, but outside, once you get outside the doors and outside on the deck, and you get to just immerse yourself and on our property, it speaks for itself. Why we moved here. We have 3 mountains. It's on BLM land that people will never move on. So till the day we die, we'll be able to look at them. And the outdoor grills, like I spend most of my time out there in the fire pits.
Can you say hi, everybody? You
Say
gonna
hello?
hi?
Can you wave? Can you wave?
I would say that my favorite part of the home, I'm gonna piggyback, is definitely the deck. But then also, we have this beautiful, what I call a reading nook upstairs. That's just gorgeous, and we can see all the stars and planets outside during the nighttime, and it's just a really relaxing space where I can meditate and I can escape. And then I love our dining room, which you'll see it's such a vibe. So this is kind of our catch-all entertainment, loungy, relaxing space that we need to get away from the chaos of toys and noise. I'm sure we'll miss it when it's gone. But I was telling you that my favorite space is actually our little reading nook, and so that brings us to it. This is the space that I use to read, to do my daily meditation, but also to live stream every Sunday to talk about the Real Housewives of Potomac with my friend Kiarna, who's another fellow castmate. This space is insanely special to me because when I toured the house before we bought it, all it was a Peloton right here. And I was like, this space is definitely underutilized. One thing that we changed about it was we added a second HVAC because it gets incredibly hot up here from the sun. But we actually took all the windows out and we made them longer so that it gives that cathedral grand feeling, and it once again lets the outside come in. And we changed all of the windows to being energy efficient so we wouldn't, I guess, burn up while we're sitting in here. So this is definitely one of my favorite spaces. I have my plants in here because I think that not only do they look great, but they emit great energy, they clean the oxygen, and I'm just really happy when I'm in here. I know that it means it's time for mama to relax, but I also do Wonderland business in here too, because running Wonderland never feels like a job for me. This is a little nook that we have here. I think that this chair is super unique because it kind of has open hands, like come sit in me and be meditative and happy. And we have coffee in here in the morning. Well, Bobby does. I'm not a coffee drinker, but I love tea. So I drink my hibiscus, tulsi, and green tea up here in the morning before we get the day started. Usually when I wake up, my son Kush is waiting for me in this chair. So it's just like nice to say, oh, hey baby. This is our bedroom. So our bedroom has a different color, aesthetic, and feel than the rest of the house because we wanted it to be a little more calming, the most calming space in the house. So they call it millennial gray, but hey, we love it. We have this beautiful wallpaper that is an ode to Japanese silk art. If you can't see it, but behind the headboard, there's a scene of like mountains and samurai warriors. I mean, we really missed the opportunity putting it here, but at least you can see the clouds. We have more artwork from our travels here. These 2 plates are actually made from whalebone and they were hand carved. We got them when we went to Puerto Penasco, Mexico, from a street vendor that actually carved them himself. So we love patronizing independent artists, and doing that was really, really important to us, along with my other favorite piece, which is this beautiful burnt horsehair teepee. This is actually pottery that we purchased from the Navajo reservation, because we think it's really important when you purchase indigenous art or indigenous inspired art that you buy it right from the tribe itself. So, and then of course, protecting this important piece of art in turquoise is my mom here, who I love so much, and they say that I look like her the most in this picture. Before we bought this house, when we walked in here, once again, it was a much more closed off space. There was a fireplace, but it was smaller. So we wanted that marble. We wanted that driftwood kind of like cozy, comfy fireplace. And I think that we really achieved it. And we also carried the theme of having like this wood cabin feel onto the ceilings here in our owner's suite, and to kind of remind us over and over that we are in this beautiful space next to nature. So my closet is here. It's a mess, but it's here. This is from Bali as well. Just beautiful painting. It's just important to remind ourselves always of the things that we've been blessed to experience, so that we can continue those blessings in our life. And then lastly, in our owner's suite, of course, is our bathroom. So come on in.
I think my non-negotiables with this home, I just wanted everything to be big, you know what I mean? Because I'm 6'7", I used to be 325. When we bought the home, was having it remodeled, so I was very large, and normally average furniture is not comfortable for me. So a lot of things in here are built for me. They're oversized, but they still look good for a normal sized person. You know what I mean? You're not in a giant's house.
Yeah.
But I think that was really it. And I wanted an outdoor kitchen. That was my thing, because I cook a lot and grill very frequently. So that was pretty much it.
He is an open fire food master. That's what he is. Yes. So when you see the home, you see that a lot of the entryways are a lot taller. You see that the cabinets are a lot longer, and you see that the couches are deep and the seats are deep, and we just wanted to be able to grow old in this home and Bobby be comfortable, as we age. So this is our bathroom, and actually I would say that this is also one of my favorite spaces, because it's so totally different than how it looked, but the bathroom is also what made me like the house even more and want the house. Here we have this enormous tub. I think that it must be one of the biggest tubs that I've ever seen. For me, I float around in it like it's a pool. But it was really important to get something that Bobby could actually like spread his legs out in and like enjoy being in the tub instead of being all cramped. And once again, we have this dark black theme, but I think not only does it not feel harsh, it feels like comforting. And we also wanted this chandelier that has the leather for Bobby and the crystals for me, so that it kind of feels like a marriage between us two. And we wanted it to feel like you're in the spa when you're in the bathroom. So this space is a pleasure to brush our teeth and get ready in the morning, because it's just so beautiful. And I cannot forget, this is actually my very first piece of art that I bought as a grown person. And I love how Miranda had it framed, because she didn't just traditionally wrap the canvas on a wood frame. She really made it like a centerpiece of the bathroom. This is actually a depiction of early enslaved people in Guadeloupe. and that's where I traveled to get this. So I really just love this piece of art. I really think it just ties the bathroom in just beautifully. And then of course behind me is our vanity. This vanity is another example of us kind of doing the construction to accommodate Bobby. It looks tall because it is tall. Usually you don't have a vanity that's at somebody's hip, but for Bobby, it makes it so that he doesn't have to bend over when he's washing his hands or bend over when he's brushing his teeth, because you would be surprised how many vanities we've seen where he can't see the top of his head when he's doing something. So we have these long mirrors, just beautiful natural materials, again, that tell the story of who we are. We're natural people. We love being in the outdoors. And while it's black, it still feels very just open and natural. And I will also say that we were inspired in this room by the architecture that's in Bali, because in Bali they have this just beautiful feeling of letting nature come into the indoor spaces. So I love this bathroom.
I think our personality, it shows up. It screams us when you see it. You know, it's not Addams Family-ish. It's not all black. You know what I mean? But it's not, you know, too dainty and like you can't touch anything in the house. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful home that's lived in. You know, because we have two young, big children who run around and terrorize everything, and me, I'm big and I break stuff more than I like. And so I think the thing you see the most that shows our personality is Angels. You see so many the light fixtures, like their natural stone, the countertop, everything. Me, I'm more, you'll see animal prints, antlers, fur, you'll see that around the house.
Yes.
But a lot of the stone and leather and things like that is Angel.
I would say that as far as the aesthetic and our personality showing up in the house, you see Bobby's personality in the deep masculinity that you see in the dark colors, and then you see my personality in the jewels, as our designer puts it, around the home. So while it's masculine, you see these beautiful crystal chandeliers. I'm a big crystal girly, so I love to collect all the crystals. So you see these raw stones all over the house, and against the backdrop of the black, you see these gold tones. So it's almost like me and Bobby marrying who we are together in all the fixtures and extras in the house. And then you also see lots of art from our travels around the world, from Bali, from Colombia, from Mexico, from Puerto Rico, things that are very indicative of what we like to do where our lifestyle is concerned, which is travel and immerse ourselves in different cultures. And like Bobby said, the furs and the antlers and the bones, that's all Bobby, 100%. This space allows for us to definitely be ourselves. I mean, beyond the inside of the house, it's the grounds of our property. Right now we have a fall garden with Swiss chard, collard greens, carrots, kale, and it allows us to kind of have this farm to table experience. You have that outdoor kitchen set up for Bobby. He has a bunch of different open fire grills. You have all the space in the land, and so we're able to really hike on our land and build fires on our land and have the kids just have a great time. So it really, and then when we did the renovation, we did this huge, we bumped out the deck. We made it wider and longer, and it allows us to have this outdoor lifestyle that we really appreciate, especially in the beautiful weather in Colorado. I think that this home, while it's so beautiful on the inside, the star is really the land that we live on. So this is my vegetable garden. It's probably one of my favorite spaces on the property, right, Bobby?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so Here we have a bed of carrots, calliope carrots and scarlet carrots, and then we have these nasturtium. These flowers are actually very edible. You'll see them on like cakes, and Miss Meghan Markle loves to put them in her cooking. I love her show. And so, yeah, these carrots will be able to eat them throughout the season. They get sweeter as it gets colder. And not only do I have carrots, but I have Tuscan kale. And kale is hard to grow, so shout out to me for being able to do it. We have collard greens, and it's something really ancestral for me about growing collard greens because cooking them for Thanksgiving and incorporating them into different foods is a really big part of Tidewater Creole culture and Black American culture in general. And then we have Swiss chard, which is probably my favorite vegetable. It tastes so good. It's like an upgrade to spinach. And it grows very well. All these vegetables out here are cold weather tolerant. So this is my fall and winter garden. And then we have this blackberry bush, a primocane blackberry bush, which means that it gives a harvest twice a year. So you can see these little blackberries growing here. They're pretty happy. It's actually trying to bust out of the frame, but and so we have strawberries, apple tree, and over there we have spinach. It's pretty hard to keep this place organized just because I'm always in and out of it, and the kids actually like to be in here as well. But it's just calming and peaceful, and it's so fun to be able to eat right from your garden. So I really wanted to share this space with you guys because it's important for me to be able to feed my family from my hands.
The word home means sanctuary to me. The word home means a soft place to land. The word home means family to me.
When you describe home, it's a safe space where you come for love, fun, enjoyment, everything. You know what I mean? It's everything all wrapped in one.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.